Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Smiley Show. We have two extras on the show today, but first I want to tell you a little story. I was watching Finding Nemo with my kid the other day, and my daughter asked, "Daddy, is Marlin a hero?" And I said, "Well, I don't know if Marlin's a hero." That's why we have two extras on the show today. Hello, Alex and Taylor. How are you guys doing today?
I'm doing fine. How are you, Rick? How are you?
Doing good, doing good. I had a few more cups of coffee than I usually do, but I'm okay. How about you, Alex?
Doing well. Thanks for asking.
So, you two are experts on the field of epic heroes?
Yeah, I've been reading about epics and reading the epic stories for about 8 years now. I've read most of the older epics that there are.
Yes, and I've been reading epic stories since the day I could read, so I guess you could say I'm an expert.
Good, good, good. So I have a few questions for you guys.
Alright, and God to help if we can.
Okay, so as I said at the beginning of the show, I was watching Finding Nemo with my kid the other day, and she said, "Daddy, is Marlin a hero?" And that's what I want to ask you guys. Is Marlin a hero?
Well, I think that he is. Marlin has many of the qualities and characteristics that a hero has. He has a sidekick who is Dory. He has his mentor who is Crush the Turtle. He has a low point or Odysseus. He has many trials and tribulations that he has to overcome, and he finally has a return journey home.
And I agree with you on that one, Alex. It actually reminds me of the epic story of the Odyssey.
Why is that? Does it have similarities?
Well, in both the Odyssey and Finding Nemo, they both have a trying traveling journey that they have to fulfill in order, obviously in Marlin's case, is to find his son Nemo. And they encounter many obstacles that they both have to overcome, just as well as enemies trying to stop them along the way.
That's very interesting. I'm beginning to understand a little more about epic heroes. But since we've been talking about epic heroes, maybe some people don't know what an epic hero is. So what is an epic hero?
An epic hero is a brave and noble character in an epic poem, admired for, great achievements or, grand events that they're affected by. He usually has a low point, which is called a catharsis. He has a special weapon or item that most of the time has mystical powers. And most of the time there's a sidekick, in Marlin's case, Dory. You look at other movies, the same thing. And he has a journey that they usually have a journey that they have to undertake. And then finally they have a return journey home.
Very interesting. Okay, so now that we understand more what an epic hero is, what suits Marlin? What characteristics does he have?
I would definitely have to say that in the beginning of Finding Nemo, Marlin, obviously we all see he isn't very brave at all. Towards the end of the story, he is. His sidekick is Dory, as Alex had mentioned before. And then he has many obstacles that he has to overcome, such as the jellyfish fields, the darkness of the deep sea, and also the sharks. Crush the Turtle is his mentor in this case, and then he helped him, get through the jellyfish fields and helped him find his way to Nemo. And then I believe with his low point in the story, I believe that it's when he loses his son Nemo in the beginning.
I would have to disagree with you there, though. I think that his low point would actually have to be where he thinks his son is dead towards the end of the movie. I think that would be his catharsis.
That's a very good point, Alex. I'm still not seeing where the Odyssey ties into Finding Nemo.
Well, obviously in the Odyssey and Nemo, they both have many obstacles they have to overcome. And they both have people telling them to turn back, you're never going to complete the journey. And also they both have low points that they have to get over. And then obviously, in the very end, their final goal.
Okay, now that we're beginning to understand the subject, what characteristics does the Odyssey have? Who's his sidekick, who's his mentor, etc.?
Well, the epic poem of the Odyssey is about a man named Odysseus who went off to fight in the Trojan War. He fought the Trojan War, they won, whatever. And at the end of the war is where his story really starts. It starts with his boat trip home, which lasted about 10 years. And from there, the story emerges of Odysseus. And so you learn that his mentor is Athena, who is with him throughout the entire story, and his sidekick is a man named Eurylochus.
Well, also, Alex, to add to that, he also has a mental low point, which is when his ship is actually struck down by the god Zeus, and then after that he is swept up onto Calypso's island. And then during his journey home, he also ran into many other monsters and problems along the way.
That's pretty cool. So I have one more question before I have to go today. How has today's culture affected today's hero stories?
Well, today's hero movies have been modernized quite a bit in ways that make it easier for us to understand them. Like in Finding Nemo, it's about a fish that draws kids into watching them and that help people to understand the movies more. That is basically how today's cultures have been affected by epic hero movies.
Wow, two very different stories that have so much in common. I've learned so much today, and I hope my viewers learned something as well. Well, I'm going to have to show this to my daughter so she can learn something as well. I might have to thank you guys for coming on to the show today.
Yeah, no problem, right?
Yeah, it was great being on here. Thanks for having us.
No, I think you guys are coming in to teach us all this great information about epic heroes. Well, that's all the time we have for today. I have to thank you two for coming in. Thank you. Also thank our sponsors, the Taylor Titan Yearbook. Go see it for yourself if you want to buy one. We also got to thank you guys for tuning in. And goodbye, and remember to smile.